333. R.I.P.P. Don P. PhD. Yeah. I said, R.I.P. TV. Tell a homie. Mob Deep Mondays, that's everyday, thoughty. It's all for the community. That's what P showed me. We lost without the unity. Where the fuck is the OGs? R.I.P.P. God bless the real. Only for the righteous. The rest will go to hell. Flipping through the book of Revelation, figure it out. Transliterate the translation, do it yourself. It's the last days, life is a test and we in a cage. Concrete jungle, everyday struggle. Fuck the pain, I'm on some HNIC shit. Hegelian 3 shit. If you don't know what I mean, you was never G. Real shit, R.I.P. Yo, P, play that beat back, 333. Burn some weed, we repeat that. Shake me up a Tuka pack, break me off for 20 pieces. I'm gone, never looking back. Y'all can't talk to me. R.I.P. TV, tell a homie. Mob Deep Mondays, that's everyday, thoughty. It's all for the community. That's what P showed me. We lost without the unity. Where the fuck is the OGs? Like the weed, play some IMD for me. It's hell on earth for real, but y'all don't wanna see paper trail politics. All the shit was prophecy, strictly for the family. Peace to the prodigy. R.I.P.P. I sleep when it's time for me. Dope dreams bring the skizzy, pour the Hennessy. Searching for some inner peace, couple hundred G's. Deadly weapons and some weed just for you and me. R.I.P.P. I sleep when it's time for me. Dope dreams bring the skizzy, pour the Hennessy. Searching for some inner peace, couple hundred G's. Deadly weapons and some weed just for you and me. Yo.
Yo, so what up, everybody? Whoever the fuck is watching me right now. What up, y'all? Let me adjust that a little bit. There we go. So, I sent out the invite to Roger Harper, Carrie, and Nice. I didn't tell any of them we was doing the show today. That's alright. You know me. I'm consistent. Tuesdays, every Tuesday at 8, I'm here. Gray Matter. Talk about what's going on in the world outside of music. In the world of gladiator competition and whatnot. So, what the fuck is up, yo? About to roll the fuck up. I always tell everybody that does shows with me, you don't have to worry about me verifying whether or not we're going live. I'm doing it. The doing Gray Matter was a commitment of time this year. I knew that no matter what, every Tuesday I had to do the show because football season didn't stop. So biggest shout out to Gray Matter's biggest fan and probably our only one. Flea. What up, homie? I appreciate you rocking with us all year long, because Lord knows I make rap music. And that's pretty much all anybody knows me for. So, to get to venture out into the other shit that I like to do. Or how about I just say the other shit that I care about. It's been fun. And how fucking dope is it that somehow in the middle of this season we get a new co-host with 5 years of NFL experience. Huh. How fucking crazy is that shit? And then come to find out, him and I have so many similarities between us. It's very uncanny and odd. Just looking like my eyes are green today. There is Sir Carrie of Height. Alright. Now we can have a sports show. I don't have to sit here and just talk to myself. This is cool.
What's good?
Yo, what up? What up?
What up?
The GOAT. Yo, it's funny that everybody is now coronating him as like he's transcended football. I'm just like, where you guys been at? It's been like this guy's when he got 5 Super Bowls, he already transcended football. Like where you he had to take it with it had to be without Belichick. I get it. But it's hilarious how many people are just absolutely on Tom's nuts right now. Jesus Christ.
It's like annoying. Annoying because I don't know what the fuck else they've been watching. What have you been watching?
Yeah, where you guys been at the last fucking 20 years?
Why is this a surprise?
Yeah,
There he is.
Roger Harper, what up, homie?
Getting situated.
Yeah, but now it's like Tom win another Super Bowl, so I spend the entire next Monday watching every single sports show to see what these idiots have to say, and every single one of them is just like, he's the greatest team sports player in the history of sports, and it's just like,
I knew that was going to happen, which is why I tuned out. I can't watch Sports Center for a week. Not because I'm hating, trust me. But it's just, they're just going to be on his sack the entire time. And I'm like, all right, we get it. But where were you? We already know this.
Yeah, I mean, the only one I really wanted to watch was I wanted to see what the fuck Max Kellerman was going to say. What do you have left to say, Max Kellerman?
Because of the cliff.
Yeah. He said, well, I finally have to admit it. Tom Brady, since I said he was going to fall off of a cliff, has had a Hall of Fame career since I said that.
True.
Dude, he's been to 4 fucking Super Bowls in 5 years since he said that. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So, Roger Harper, yeah, me and Roger Harper watched the game together, man. Nice tuned in for a little bit.
Okay.
I figured I'd know you was out somewhere amongst the ether watching the game.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, Kerry? How you doing?
What's going down, Rod?
Same old, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know who you picked for the Super Bowl, but I was on point. And Joe, who'd you pick?
Oh, he picked Tampa Bay all day.
Yeah, I did too.
Initially my pick was Kansas City, but then as it started to get close, I was like, oh yeah, I don't know, because that offensive line, like I said, it was just too much, and I had a feeling that Kansas City wouldn't alter their game plan. They would still try to work it as if everybody up front was healthy. And what was I saying? They need to run the rock.
Well, it's funny because they
started getting yards.
They
waited to the second half.
The most unfortuitous timing in the history of football. The Bucs literally play their best game of the year in the Super Bowl, and Kansas City plays their worst game since Patrick Mahomes has been there. It was like Kelsey was dropping things, Tyreek Hill was dropping shit.
I know.
And
that defense was just porous. And what did they do? I mean, Tom 12 only had 201 yards. So you did the worst things that you could allow a Tom Brady-led team to do. You let him get a running game because they just ran straight through them.
5.94 yards a carry as a team.
You kept getting defensive penalties and giving him second and third and fourth opportunities. And you gave him the rock right before halftime, which he only has one thing on his mind. Score a touchdown.
We're scoring.
He doesn't want a field goal. He wants to score a touchdown.
So
they started going forward on fourth down and by the goal line. I said, oh, they going out for blood. They are not playing. Every play is the last play for Tampa Bay. And you know what? To be honest, KC was just too distracted. There was just too much. That offensive line, the thing that happened with Andy Reid's son, his grandchildren, who the team knows, that's a lot of shit, though.
The barber thing with the Roni.
I mean, come on, that's too much, man.
It was too much. Yo, Roger Harper, what camera do you got, son? Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, that shit crispy.
That is like
that's That's an iPhone 11 Plus. That's all I got.
God damn, son! I feel like I'm
Crispy.
on the field with you right now. Shit.
I thought we was in 4D.
Yeah, I look down there. I'm just like, God damn, he's clear. As I look up over here, I'm like, God, what the fuck are we recording with right now?
I'm in prison lights right now.
Yeah, so I mean, they were supremely distracted, but also how you let Mike Evans get behind you 1-on-1 with like fucking 13 seconds left in the half when you know that Tom is going deep. It's guaranteed. I'm taking a shot. It doesn't matter.
Freeland is not a rookie. I mean, and the ball was, you could say that it was slightly overthrown, right? You just can't touch him.
You can't trip him.
You can't trip him and then get mad.
Exactly.
And that's another thing, because I saw Breland still talking about that play 3 plays later. I said, "Oh, his head is gone."
Yeah.
Same thing with Honeyback. He's
Matthew.
getting up in the face. He's trying to yap and jaw. There's a certain way to do it and in the flow, but they were too emotional.
Yeah, we were talking about the whole game. We were talking about you could see their body language, you could see their demeanor, their attitude was in. They just knew that, all right, Pat can't take us out of this one. Now, I will give Patrick Mahomes all the credit in the world. That guy was throwing accurate passes, diving like he's fucking John Wick. It was hitting people in the hands. I couldn't believe it. Yo, that throw in the left-hand corner where he spun around twice and chucked it, and it literally hit in the... That's the best throw I've ever seen in my life.
In the end zone.
And it doesn't matter. Kerry,
They dropped 3 touchdown passes.
That's the best throw I have ever seen in my life. How in the fuck did he even get it accurately to the only point his guy could get it to while being spun around twice?
Mm-hmm.
And it will get lost in history because it wasn't even completed.
Yeah.
I was just like, this dude is balling, but his team, all those plays that they usually make, the cheetah jumping up in the air in between 4 people, wasn't happening in this game.
And he still managed to have 270 yards and being the leading rusher. I mean, I told you they needed to tote that rock. And if he had to drop back and just pass, they weren't going to win.
Well, we do that because we had talked about how top heavy they are.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the perfect game plan. We're going to double. They doubled Tyreek 100% of the snaps. Perfect. 0 catches, or what he may have, like 1 or whatever. So,
yeah,
Tom, a lot of credit goes to Todd Bowles with defensive scheme.
Both of them. Actually, Byron Leftwich called a wonderful game.
Offensive game, yeah, he did. Byron Leftwich did.
They toted that rock. I mean, and as soon as they saw that Ronald Jones, they're like, "Oh, you couldn't punch that in? Hey, Leonard, come here for a second."
Oh yeah.
Leonard was like, "I'm not getting off this field." He was possessed.
Yo, so
possessed.
A funny thing, while it's in my high brain right now, the post-game interviews were so funny. Leonard Fournette, they're interviewing him. He doesn't say, "I just won a Super Bowl. My dreams just came true." The first thing out of his mouth was, "I get to tell my kids I played with Tom Brady." I was just like, wow. Jesus Christ, did he change that culture instantaneously?
Wow.
Mike,
those guys said that all week in practice. When they first got to the team, he changed the culture as soon as he got there. So
day one,
they were expected to step up at a high level.
Well, Mike Evans has already said he will restructure his deal and take a pay cut to stay in Tampa. He doesn't give a fuck. He's riding the wave, which is smart. They got about a 3-year window. They could really make a historic run right here because they are fucking loaded.
I would do it. Okay, you got to think. I think they're going to have Antonio Brown back.
No, Antonio Brown will never go anywhere else except where Tom Brady's at.
I mean, you still got Chris Godwin. You got to think O.J. Howard is coming.
O.J. Howard will be back. Chris Godwin will be the one to go somewhere else.
You think?
Yeah, because they'll use Scotty Miller still because they're not going to be able to afford Chris Godwin because they have to sign Levante David and Ndamukong Suh. Suh already is talking about, fuck yeah, I want to stay here. Fuck, I already made $150 million. What do I fucking care?
Now he's just chasing chips.
So they're all actively restructuring because Tom is only making $25 million. He's not like.
And you also got that young kid Tyler Johnson at receiver. So
Yeah, and Tom loves that guy. So Chris Godwin will be the one to go because he's not going to take that big of a pay cut. And
he's still young in his career.
he has earned himself a true number one spot somewhere else.
He hasn't gotten his big contract yet, so he needs to get paid.
He needs to get paid, and he will, and he got a chip.
He's champion.
But if he was just like, yo, fuck this shit, I'm staying here until Tom's done, I would totally understand it, dude. Why wouldn't you?
I mean, and they get your money later.
I mean, you win 3 Super Bowls, all of a sudden you get a lot of endorsement deals. So, like,
sure do. You sure do.
Yeah, so let's get back to the game. I mean, it was absolutely. Patrick Mahomes ran for 495 yards before he threw the ball.
He never got a chance to set his feet. Like you said, he was spinning and running and throwing off balance. Just he was desperate the whole time. I mean, nobody was open. I mean, it was just pressure.
And the times where he could stay still and he threw the rock and hit him in the hands, they just was dropping third down. That's another thing. They were the best at converting third down conversions all year.
Kelsey had multiple drops.
The best in the league, and they're just dropping it all over, like they've never been there before. You would think it was their first time there, and that Tampa was the one the returning champ because they just dominated from the outset.
I mean, all the things that I said about the non-football factors, the things that, you know, the analytics will never get you, all rang true. Literally, it happened with me and Nice talked about it. Every single championship this year was won by the most stable organization. Across the board, it happened in all of them throughout the Roni. All major championships, even in college football, all of them, the same thing. Same people won. We knew it was going to be Tom. We knew LeBron was going to win. You knew Nick Saban was going to win. You knew the Dodgers were going to win. They've been in the fucking World Series for like 5 fucking years in a row. You knew that Tom Brady was going to win with this roster. It was almost given. Now, Kerry, what you missed is, and I wish I would have bet this one, Roger Harper, because did I nail the first half score 1,000,000% before the game?
Yep. Yeah, he called it before the game, up 15 by half.
I said they're going to go if they hit 15 at halftime. That's too many points because KC can't stop them. They'll never make it up.
You called that. Yeah, you sure did call that.
And I said on the back end of that, I said if KC doesn't score a touchdown right as they come off of the half, they're going to get blown out.
Oh, no, we talked about that too because they went down and got 3, and Tampa put the stamp on the game and went down and got 7, and it was like.
As soon as I saw I said, oh, they're getting blown out.
I'm like, they're increasing their lead by 4-point increments. This is over.
Yeah.
You got to give all the credit in the world to that young secondary and their development over the season. Because they were terrible at the beginning of the year.
But Bunting had an interception. I don't know if he got one in this game, but he had an interception in every playoff game leading up to it. So he really stepped up. Carlton Davis, I mean, he got destroyed.
That's what I'm saying. They, as a whole unit.
Wow.
But this was all scheme, though. They schemed because me and
10, 15 yards.
Well, me and Roger were talking about it during the game when Cheetah was running back and forth doing all that motion. No one ever chased him, and they still doubled him because whichever side he went to, they just switched their coverage. High-low. It was easy.
They just did the entire
and then we said it. I'm like, watch this. The only thing they have is they have to start scoring early because they're only going to get 10 yards at a time with Kelsey. And he did up the middle, but they couldn't stop Tampa Bay at all.
But this is why they needed to really try their best to establish that run. And they were getting chunk yards in the run game. In the end, because of the depth the linebackers were getting, they needed to just – what did I say before? I said KC needs to stay patient if they want to win this game. If they try to make it a shootout, then it's not going to happen.
No,
at that point, it was too late. It was too late with the run game.
Well, even then, they just look like a team that they look like the Houston Rockets. Just putting up 170 points a game or like 65 threes a game, and then all of a sudden when you have a bad shooting night, you get blown out. That's exactly what it looked like. They had a bad shooting night, and they got destroyed.
Well, I mean, also we got to talk about. I mean, because we talked about the stable teams who were winning chips. Talk about those teams that right before the championship game, some bullshit happens. Like when Atlanta goes to the Super Bowl against the Broncos, and all of a sudden, your man
Eugene Robinson
wants
out
to,
hanging out trying to buy some pussy.
Yeah, Monday, you know what I'm saying? Like kids there too, and I mean, like, what are you thinking, bro? What are you thinking about?
Well, you remember Oakland when they got blew out by Tampa?
Oakland, yeah, what the center disappeared.
The center disappeared and had a
Yep.
mental breakdown. He said it was too much pressure, and he just disappeared. They couldn't even find him.
Yeah, that was crazy. I remember that.
Right.
How do you even adjust like that?
This is what
How
I'm
do you
saying.
even
Like,
adjust?
These factors, way, because you're like, this is the biggest game of our lives, and what? What
You
did
referring to the center and the offensive tackle?
Yes.
The backside tackle?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gallery,
Killed
Robert Gallery.
Yes.
Tackle's name.
Yeah.
The center had short hair, but he bugged out and had a mental breakdown and just literally went AWOL for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, how do you prepare when that happens? Just like, wait a minute, where's he at?
You cannot.
So Carrie, you'll remember these two very fondly. Well, at least one of them. The second Giants victory over the Patriots in the Evil Empire. Literally the day of the Super Bowl, they had practiced with the receiver from Rutgers. I don't remember his name.
Kenny Britt?
No. The other one, the little one from that same time period. They had him on the team, and they cut him the day of the Super Bowl and brought in an extra lineman, and we fucking lost. And I was like, that's football karma.
Yeah.
You motherfuckers. You can't do that.
Yes. I do remember that.
They cut
Like, wow, that's foul. They cut him right before the game.
something Wood, something like something. I can't remember his name, but you remember that they cut him the day of the Super Bowl. They didn't put him on the practice squad so he can still get a ring. They fucking Taekwon Underwood. That was his name. They fucking cut this dude on Super Bowl Sunday and signed some random lineman who never even saw a snap.
I know. I like Taekwon too. He was good.
Yeah, no, it was so weird because he was like a special teams contributor and whatnot. And on Super Bowls,
he was actually contributing to the team.
well, you also have to remember that was the Super Bowl run with like, who the fuck are we even throwing it to out here?
So I have to say this though.
Taekwon Underwood, man.
So it also, since you brought it up, now this is another quarterback that TB12 has defeated, thus still keeping only Eli and Foles.
Yeah.
The only two to do it. The only two.
You have to look like you don't.
7-3.
You have to look like you don't care about football to beat Tom, because Nick Foles and Eli both look like they don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
I'm just saying. So what I'm saying is, so it just like as his lore continues to grow, it only enhances what they did. Like, what? How the hell did he lose 3 times? You gotta
Well,
look.
that one in Philly, we can't really blame Tom because he did throw for 550 fucking yards.
That didn't even make any sense.
They
You know
didn't.
what?
They
I put
didn't
that in
punt.
the hoodie.
Yeah, they didn't punt one. They scored on every single
Exactly.
drive and
How do
lost.
you not play Malcolm Buck? Like, that's insane. Especially with Foles throwing it all over the lot. You don't have your best corner out there at that time? Come on. What are you doing?
Yeah, we don't know what Malcolm Butler said to the hoodie, but he did something foul because that was stupid. As a Patriots fan, I'm sitting there
Play
like,
a better game if you're Tom. You can't play a better game.
I'm just sitting there like, don't you remember last year or like 2 years ago when that guy won the Super Bowl on the goal line? Should probably put that guy in there.
Yeah. He was a Pro Bowler at that point.
Yeah.
Did he ever be an All-Pro? He was definitely a Pro Bowler.
He was a Pro Bowler because after that year, that's when they cut somebody who had been there a long time, and then he just took that spot and had a Pro Bowl year. He had because he had like 6 forced fumbles or something. He was really active, and then all of a sudden he had another good year, and then you get to the Super Bowl. It's just like, no, I'm going to Taekwon Underwood you. but I'm going to make you watch.
Yeah, that's even worse because he's on the sidelines. That's even worse.
Yeah, why was he torturing him like that? And then you ever wonder why Tom won it out?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you watch that, and like Malcolm was your boy. It's hard to want to play on that team again. Like, wow, you just did him dirty. That's crazy.
Well, now imagine the lack of free agents who are going to want to go to New England now after watching what Tom just did and the fun he had and Gronk being re-energized and all that. Nobody's going to want to go up there.
Hey, so you guys got a spot like long snapper extraordinaire. I might throw on a couple of pounds so I can go long snap.
I mean, Pat McAfee was already talking about, he might have to, like, start stretching out again and shit. He might have to go down to Tampa.
Why not?
Adam Vinatieri said he's going to wait until he turns 50 and he's going to come out of retirement and go play with Tom. Like,
wow.
They have you can officially ring chase in the NFL right now. Just go to Tampa, you got a shot.
I mean, you legitimately do.
Yeah.
You do. But I mean, you do there. I feel like there's a couple places where there's legitimate shots. I mean, obviously, we got to see what the Rams do in the draft, but
adding Matthew Stafford, me and Roger already talked about it. We already tried to look at who can even challenge Tampa Bay with Tom with the mentality of, I know what he's thinking, Kerry. He's going to win 3 in a row. That's the goal.
No, he's trying to.
You can already see it. He's trying to repeat.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
So
that running back shit that KC was talking, he was like, "Yeah, we want to run it back."
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm coming back, and Gronk already said he's coming back. Like, they're all running it back, dude. They know what they have. So, who can even challenge them? Well, you add Matthew Stafford on to a Rams team that has the #1 defense in football. Now you're talking.
Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, those linebackers are young and fast.
The receiving core is pretty solid all the way through.
Dexter Williams is stepping up more and more at corner with each game. You got John Johnson, the third at safety. He's also a good safety. I mean,
realistically, you have to have a team that's got a good secondary to even challenge him. There's too many of them. There's so many of them. You gotta. So, LA is a serious threat now.
Oh, absolutely.
So now, I didn't even know this was happening until today. Apparently, Russell Wilson kind of wants out of Seattle.
Yeah,
heard about that too.
He's been tripping. He's been sending subs at the GM.
Well, okay, so Kerry, I don't know if you remember, we talked about this already.
Mm-hmm.
Way in the beginning of the season, because we said that I think Russell wants to go to New York somewhere. Because
get out of the Seattle market, yeah.
Well, I mean, Sierra is trying to push him towards like a big market. Like, let's go somewhere where we can be some big past football, because Russ is already looking past football. So now he's just being very vocal about it. And when you look at the stats, this guy's been sacked more than any quarterback in the league since he's been in the NFL. When it doesn't make any sense because he's extremely elusive.
And they still haven't figured out that offensive line situation, which I don't understand how you haven't figured the shit out yet. I mean, it's crazy.
So
I got to bring somebody in.
That guy.
So does Seattle now throw their hat into the Deshaun Watson rig?
Well, see, I don't know what kind of pissing match that him and the GM are going to have, because GM's really getting their feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, Russ isn't going to go to Houston.
Ted Thompson, because Ted Thompson brought in Aaron Rodgers. So Favre and Ted Thompson never got along. So, I mean, they had a little pissing contest. And like, Favre wanted out. He was like, all right, peace.
No, I don't. Russ won't go to Houston's, but you have to look at the Jets as a serious player, because they are actively discussing trading Sam Darnold. They said they have, at minimum, 10 teams who have made calls.
Okay.
Well, you don't have to leverage fucking 7 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson either. So you can get Sam Darnold up in Seattle, who is kind of looks like they might be in not necessarily a rebuild, but it's more of a rebranding. Because the Legion of Boom is gone. It's now just like, their receivers. It's been all Russ. It's been all Russ for a long time.
Carson, he can't stay healthy.
It's been so much rust that it cost them a Super Bowl because we all know that they didn't want Marshawn to get Super Bowl MVP, and they didn't run it because they got it. They got real arrogant with themselves, and football karma came through for them. Like, wait a minute, you're not about to run it with that guy? You're about to lose this game.
Yeah, he the one got him down there, ran the ball, power runs, and everybody was in shock that they didn't run that ball.
I mean, come on. Now.
Everybody except the hoodie. He looked like the only person who knew.
Yep.
No, but yeah, so now
there's no other play.
So now you're looking at Seattle possibly moving on from Russ. Because the NFL players are gaining leverage now. They can say, I don't want to play here no more. Fuck this shit.
This is true. But, well, you see what the Texans are trying to do with Deshaun, claiming that they're not trading him. I'm telling you, if they play this hardball move,
no one will ever go to Houston.
No one will ever want to go to Houston. To play for that owner, pulling that move, you make this young cat in the prime of his career say, all right, well, then I'll retire. Like, you pull that power move, and then you deny the fans of seeing him just play.
Well, not only that, the most interesting thing about this entire scenario is Easterby, the GM, used to be their fucking team chaplain. How did you get that job? You're a chaplain. You have no football experience. How did you just go vertically into the GM spot? How are you making personnel decisions? Are you making personnel decisions based off of Jesus?
No. I thought they got Casario from New England.
They do now, but it's this guy Easterby is like, he's like McNair's like right-hand man. And he's like the president of player personnel or some dumb shit that's not the GM. And it's just like, literally...
I don't see the path from chaplain.
He literally was the team chaplain, yo.
That's fucking crazy. I've never heard no shit like that.
Dude, can you think of any team chaplain that you've ever had and think, boy, they really know what they're talking about when it comes to football?
You know what I'm saying?
What the fuck? And then all of a sudden, then you start to wonder, well, maybe Billy O'Brien isn't the worst GM ever. Maybe it really was above him.
Well, the thing is, that's what I'm saying. Houston, that Texans organization has been making terrible. First of all, and this hurts my heart, Houston, the whole city, has been fucking up.
Yes.
Big time. You lose all your superstars in every sport in Houston. James wants to go. You lose George Springer. You're about to lose Deshaun. I mean, the whole city's fucking up. So, that's that Enron karma. But yo, yeah, I don't think they should play hardball with Deshaun. They need to go ahead and get what you could get, because you're not going to get a better deal than you are right now. And teams are like, well, you're going to make us wait. We're going to make other decisions, which is what Houston is banking on. So it's like, well, we have no place to send you. I'm telling you.
He'll sit out a year.
It's good. He will. And because he travels all over the world. Like, he has other interests.
Yeah, he'll sit out a year.
Gerald, he has other interests in life, period. Mm-hmm. So he's like, oh, I got an offer here. All right, I'm going to be doing something else. And, it's going to be just a terrible look.
Yo, what if they never relent on that and he fucking goes to the Canadian League and tears it up?
Thinking about that.
Does a reverse Warren Moon.
I was thinking about that. Him going up there. I mean, nobody wants.
God, he'd win like 17 Grey Cups in a row. That's not fair.
But then also, what's not fair, not fair, none of those yards would count as professional, even though it's still a professional league. It won't count like an overall professional.
Yeah, yard. But who cares about that shit? This guy's like, they're trying to basically force him. This isn't the old NFL. You can't do this shit no more. And Houston set a terrible precedence because they should embrace the new NFL and the way things work and evolve with it so the players want to go there.
You could get a show. Exactly. You could actually turn Houston to a place where people say, oh, that's not bad. How many first-round picks did they get? Wait, who did they just grab in this draft? If they have an ill draft, like, okay, they know what they're doing. They got these draft picks. Hey, it's Houston. It's Texas. No state taxes. They're like, all right, I could make this work.
Well, I also look at it, what if you draft that quarterback for BYU and he's a hit? And then you could instantly go up plus with all the other draft cap. Because look what the Chargers did. The whole game in the NFL is you got to find that quarterback. And they weren't even going to start the kid. They didn't really know what they had. And then all of a sudden it's just like, dude, we're set for like the next 15 years. Holy shit.
You know what? Where's Houston picking? Because I'm not sure. I'm thinking someone's going to grab that BYU kid earlier.
Well, okay, so the problem with Houston is Miami owns their first-round pick because of the Larry Tunsil trade. So they were picking third, but Miami's now picking third.
Miami.
So the train of thought was they could trade over for Tua and get that third-round pick also in the package, blah, 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 blah. I still, since Matt Stafford went to the Rams, and none of us saw that coming, I still have the fantasy of Deshaun Watson ended up in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. That would be awesome. I mean,
oh my God, that would be so awesome.
Houston would pull the move of sending Deshaun to Miami, like, okay, y'all scraped us from draft picks. We gonna want that 3 back. Go ahead, let's go ahead and get that back. Let's go ahead and get that.
No, it makes the most sense, and you could get two.
That's why they would do that.
Yeah, but I think Houston's trying to like up the ante and wants more than Miami's probably willing to give. They probably want immediate compensation instead of future picks. You know how that shit goes, future swaps and all that shit.
They would get Tua, and
what if they don't want Tua?
I mean,
I think that might be the case, or they would have already done it.
But if you still get your if you get your third pick back, you could get your quarterback.
What if you tell Miami you want Tua and Fitzmagic and the picks? So you could bring in the closer. They wouldn't do it. That's absurd. They would never do that.
I know that. Yeah. No, I wouldn't want Fitzy back.
All right, so then we go back to the same deal that I have been discussing for weeks now. And I'm going to say it because it's the only one that makes sense on the football side aspect of it, the financial side of it, which me and Roger, we talked about this one. Trade him to Dallas. Give him Dak, Amari Cooper to offset the financial side of it, and then also a future first-round swap and then maybe another pick. But it's Dak and Amari. You're not going to have to give up other picks, probably just one. You get both of them get their quarterbacks. They're both worth about the same financially, so the contract situation wouldn't be that horrible.
Houston won't do that. They won't deal to Dallas. They don't want. They would not.
The rival. That's a rival.
They would never help another Texas team. No.
I know, but it makes the most sense when you look at the football.
Houston and Dallas. No, sir.
I know, but if I was playing Madden and I proposed that trade, it would work.
Unless it's somebody from Dallas.
No, but it just makes the most sense because clearly Dallas them and Dak, that's not going to work. It's just not going to work. So now you know that Carson Wentz is on the move. Everybody knows that. They've openly said, we're getting rid of this guy. He's going to end up in Indianapolis because it's just maybe Indy should go after Dak because the Indy's fucking loaded. I didn't even think about that. That would be amazing.
I was saying Watson to Indy, but yeah, Dak.
I think Dak's even a better fit.
Dak would be nice in Indy because I mean he runs also. I mean he's strong. I mean, Dak is strong.
They got those 2 running backs, and they're very defensive oriented with Leonard and the way that defense is playing right now. And Frank Wright is a great quarterback coach / developer and whatnot, and Dak doesn't make mistakes. So you pair a quarterback that doesn't make mistakes with a good run game and an awesome defense, and all of a sudden you're in title games.
And it's not all on his back.
At all. So, yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. I wonder what they would have to give up.
You get him out of the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, and you know they traded their number 8 pick last year for DeForest Buckner. So you know that Chris Ballard will trade a first-round pick for something that's going to pay off right now. So that's, hey, Indy, Chris Ballard, Jerry Jones. When you guys watch this show later on, because I know you're going to, give Kerry credit for that one. No, that makes sense though.
Yeah, it does.
I never even considered that. That's an amazing fit for Dak.
Oh yeah.
And then even just culture-wise, like the way he is like it just fits. Yeah. They got a real quiet stadium, you know. They always said it's really quiet there, and everyone's really polite.
Listen, they have one of the best linebackers in the league that barely anybody knows about, in Darius Leonard. You know what I'm saying?
And on top of that, they have one of the best offensive lines in football.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no, that makes absolute total sense. Now, will Jerry do that? Probably not. Jerry's an idiot.
Yeah, you would have to leave that to Steven. I feel like Steven makes the more prudent moves for Dallas for the past few years now. But you know.
Wow, that's such a good fucking fit though. I never even put those two together because I was only looking at a very limited spots where Dak would go, where Jerry, I didn't even think of Indy. It's out of the division, out of the conference. It's just like what can they give you? That's the only thing. What can you get back in return?
Right.
Because you can't really rock with the Red Rocket. They're a playoff team, so they don't really have a good slot to pick in.
Yeah.
They'd have to talk to another free agent quarterback and have something in the works where like, oh yeah, now we're going to bring him in.
I mean, maybe if they got in on the Carson Wentz sweepstakes.
Philly won't do that with Dallas though. They would have to be Philly to Indy and then Indy down to Dallas in a blockbuster, burn the NFL down, triple trade that's never been done before.
Right.
Oh, man, that would be awesome, though. Jesus Christ. The talking Skip Bayless's head would explode. Stephen A. Smith would lose his voice.
Yeah.
That's incredible. No, that's a fucking Dak and Indy. That's amazing. He's a good leader, too.
He is.
He's a good leader, and they literally, like, look what Phillip Rivers did, being a veteran quarterback and just dropping into that team for a year. Look how the success he had, and he's a turnover machine. Dak doesn't turn the ball over.
With Dak, that can get you the ball downfield. And so now we're talking about T.Y. Hilton getting involved earlier in the season. He came on late, but earlier in the season, which opens up the running game even more, opens up the middle for the tight ends because it was congested. No tight end on there. Really got busy. I mean, and then Michael Pittman Jr., he's poised for a breakout. You know what I'm saying? He's poised.
No, that's if you throw him in Indy, you're now looking at title game contention along with Tennessee and Kansas City. It's really going to be interesting. And I'll end this one and I'll open up a new one, send you guys a new link, and we'll talk about this on the opposite side. Is what the fuck is going to happen to Kansas City now? Because the Super Bowl hangover has been proven to be real about 95% of the time. In my lifetime, only the Patriots have lost the Super Bowl and then won it the next year. Came right back and won it the next year. Usually the team falls apart.
Shake up the house. Yeah, they shake it up.
Even
changes.
Even winning teams fall apart because it's time to go get paid for a lot of players. And a lot of coaches go and get better jobs and whatnot. So there's a lot of turnover.
You see what shorties are really loyal. You lose, you press, you at the crib. Shorty's like, oh, you don't really want to go out like you used to. You dip, you lose your relationship.
The whole world.
More depressed. You don't want to work out. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's a lot going on.
It is a lot. So there is a lot going on because all of a sudden you're a fucking loser. You were on top of the world last year, and now you just got your ass beat by a fucking 43-year-old. He handed it to. He bent you over his knee and spanked you like a child. And that's what people are going to look at it as. They're like, yo, the old man really taught the young kid. I'm just like...
it was the GOAT versus the kid.
I'm like, well, I mean, they didn't really play against each other. I did see Devin White. I did see Ndamukong Suh bend the kid in half, and they give him a forearm.
Oh, yeah. He loves those forearms.
Dude,
that was ugly.
That one where he bent Pat in half, though, oh, my God. That shit looks so painful.
Oh yeah, he was hurt.
That was early in the third too, and I just like, oh, this game's over. It's over already. It's over. So yeah, let me end this one. I'll send you a new link.
But
All right, just sent them the new link. So we'll finish. Joe, what up, man? We'll finish this second blunt talking to the homies, Carrie and Roger, and figure out what we're going to do in the off season. I got an idea. I know what we're going to do as a channel, a 333 community, and as Gray Matter, a show itself. What are we going to do in the off season? I think I figured it out. Clearly, I'm going to wait for these two to get back in before I say it. I don't want to repeat myself. But I think I figured it out. Yo, so I've pretty much figured out what we're going to do in the off season, because if there's one thing that I've learned about YouTube, it is consistency. It's about the only thing that pays off for you. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I imagine that it'd be like an hour in the off season. Nothing serious, but it's a matter of just
free agent movements. I mean, it's the most. I mean, in a long time that we've seen so many quarterbacks.
Well, with the salary cap going down to 184 million, we're going to see movement like we've never seen before. So, yeah, Roger, I figured out what we're going to do for the off season. We'll still be here Tuesday at 8, but we'll just talk about the general what's happening, because there's going to be a lot of free agent moves and whatnot, and then as the draft approaches. But what we'll do is it works out to, if we focus on one team a week, by the time we run through the whole the entire NFL, the season should be starting. So next week what we'll do is we'll just start. I don't know if you guys want to go from the top down or bottom up.
Listen, as to not embarrass anybody, why don't we just do divisions? You know what I mean?
No. We're going to do each team.
No, we're going to do each team, but, we do like the AFC East.
No, I'm just saying we could go. I think it'd be easier to go in draft position.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
So that's what I'm saying. So do you want to start at Tampa Bay, or do you want to start at Jacksonville?
Let's start from the top.
Yeah.
It's fresh in our minds. We don't have to actually look anything up.
Well, yeah, and plus we're going to be talking about college players that are going to be better known up at the top. But by the time you get to pick 30, 31, 32, we're just making guesses.
Yeah, all right. So, yeah, we'll just start with Tampa, and it's basically just focus on what's the, clearly, it's like GM mode. What's the off-season goals? What's the salary cap looking like? Who's going somewhere else? Well, I'm telling you, Chris Godwin's not going to stay. He's earned it somewhere else. They had, like you said, they got that other kid in the wings. The NFL is about younger, cheaper. It always is. Younger, cheaper, younger, cheaper.
Number 1 draft pick.
Also, you want to start with Jacksonville? That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
It's going to be the better known draft picks up at the top of the board.
All right, word. So, I was just figuring. No, that makes more sense. Yeah, because the draft is going to be in the middle of the offseason anyway. So, yeah, we'll start with Jacksonville. So that just means you got to do a little bit of homework, because what do we know besides them sucking and having – well, I mean, we know a little bit from this season.
We do. We know they play hard. We know they got young talent. And we know that in the next season or two, they could turn it around very quickly.
Yeah, so the other thing that I'm going to start doing now that there's no football on Sundays, Roger, is I'm going to start doing a show called Beat Shop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, I already told you about it. So, yeah, Carrie, what I'm doing is I'm going to have a rapper come in on Sundays, and producers are just going to shop beats to him live on the air.
Nice.
It's going to be their chance to, like, I'll get Nice and P's daughter and, just the people that I already fuck with. And then it's literally, they always need beats. They always need beats. And all these producers, man, it's a chance to link up with these artists like Illa G, shit like that. So
listen,
beat chop.
If you ever need bars, just let me know. I'll dust off the old mic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I'll be doing that on Sundays because fuck, I ain't watching football now. What the fuck else am I going to be doing?
You know what? I wanted to circle back to Michael Pittman Jr. I think by next year we'll be talking about him like Claypool, like Chase Claypool. I think, depending on what the quarterback situation is looking like in Indy, I think he's gonna have a year like that.
Well, I mean, it's like it's always it's such a quarterback-driven league. Like you said, this year above all others, there's going to be more change and big change. There's already one, a big domino, already moved over to somebody else's table. So there's a big chip.
Yeah.
Now we got Russell Wilson wanting out. Deshaun Watson's going to be on the move. Sam Darnold's probably going to be moved. Money-making Mitch's probably out of Chicago if they can move him. So Kirk Cousins might be moved.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's the carousel right now. And people see, they're looking at what the situations is with these different teams. I mean, you even got to look at Oakland. I'm sorry, Las Vegas.
Yeah, Gruden doesn't like Derek Carr.
Talking about Derek Carr, and also, I believe Chucky, even though he likes Carr, he saw what Mariota was doing, having the quarterback the ability to run. We see where this league is, and we see the direction.
So, what's Oakland's draft capital? Could they get into Deshaun Watson? Could you imagine Deshaun in Oakland's uniforms? That would be awesome.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like,
that would be awesome.
I said that, Las Vegas, he would be the man in Las Vegas. That team, to really establish that identity, come on, Vegas all day. He's immediately the man. Merch is crazy. I mean, fans, Raiders fans, they love that. And you have a quarterback who would most definitely be looking to get it to Ruggs way more than what Derek Carr
I believe you also have a quarterback in Deshaun Watson who can handle living in Vegas. That would all be back. It wouldn't even be a thing to him.
It wouldn't even be a thing to him. He didn't care about that.
Yeah, so... Yeah, no, that would work. That would work. I mean, it's so weird because me and Roger were talking about it. You could realistically think about maybe 4 or 5 teams that wouldn't make that move. The Bucks aren't. They forget about it. They're going to erect a statue down there. Nice guy. Kansas City wouldn't. Why would you? You got the fucking
Packers.
I think if they called, I think Guten Hoots or whatever that GM, I think he might make that move.
Guten Hoots.
Guten Hoots. Guten Hoots Boogie, whatever his name is. No, another team that wouldn't. I said Seattle possibly, but now they're looking like they're in the only other ones. There's 2 more. Cincinnati's not getting rid of Joey Bag of Donuts. He is Ohio.
Yeah.
And then the Chargers would be retarded to get rid of Herbert.
Yeah.
So other than that,
and also we got to consider Jacksonville because we already got to put Trev Lawrence on that team. So. Yeah,
but I mean, I don't know, man. I might take Deshaun Watson. Just like, hey.
I mean, I get that.
They won't, though. They won't.
They won't. There's 2 things. Pretty much, Trev Lawrence is the next coming of. You know what I'm saying? He's wearing Air Jesus sandals when he steps on the field.
I mean, he looks like Jesus. He got Jesus hair. It works.
Well, Jesus had really curly hair. That's nuts. But also, you have a guy who's going to be a marketing machine, and you got to consider Deshaun's injury history. His injury history is prevalent. I mean, it's also Houston's fault because they haven't been able to protect him. But you got to think about it.
Well, Drew Brees had injuries in San Diego and then had a phenomenal career up until he turned 37.
But he had a shoulder thing, which obviously is devastating to a quarterback. But Deshaun had 3 or 4 ACLs.
No, I know.
So,
I mean, that's also derivative of his style of play a little bit. He is kind of backyardish, and more so than Patrick Mahomes' backyard style is very controlled. And when Deshaun Watson's back there doing it, the ball's out here, his legs are going in different directions. He's getting spun in circles and shit.
Literally escaping for his life every play. Like Patrick Mahomes' Super Bowl is Deshaun Watson's every game.
Yep.
So so he has a tough go with it. So I think if he just looking at a great even just a good, really good offensive line, you already have him on the hook. You give him a line, you give him a running back, like someone with some consistency, because he really hasn't had a consistent running game like that. It's really been on his arm the entire time he's been there. And either the defense was okay or they sucked. And when they were okay, they made the playoffs. Just okay. So.
All right, so say that some other quarterback ends up in for the Jets.
Like Justin Fields, or you mean a free agent?
A free agent, which means that they would take Devontae Smith. Why wouldn't you? Jesus, he just won a fucking Heisman at wide receiver.
Sure, yeah, he's gonna be gone.
Yeah, how do you how rare is that?
Yeah. Just another note I wrote down is the Jets. They're second in cap space too.
That's what I said. So, looking at the cap space, you're looking at a possible free agent swing to a quarterback. Exactly. So they are actively shopping Sam Darnold as part of the package. So they are players in the Deshaun Watson thing. So if you do that, they got to give up their number 1 too. So Devontae Smith's not going to the Jets. So that was the question: is where does he end up? Because that guy's fucking amazing.
Right, which that's my point. Because I'm like, if you go for a QB, right, you're the Jets. Instead of going the Justin Fields or the BYU kid route, you have to really feel in your heart of hearts, this is going to be your QB for at least the next
long time,
8 to 10 years. So, out of who's out there, who's available, who gives you that? Watson gives you that. Wentz possibly gives you that.
There's an issue though. The new NFL, where players are having levity to get out of deals and move after a few years of a contract and whatnot. So you have to factor that in, because the Jets suck. So how fast can Robert Saleh turn this around and make them competitive?
This is true.
So it's like you have to factor that into your long-term outlooks.
You just said, look, I'll treat you right, baby. You just got to know how to talk to these hoes. That's all. Right? Stay with me, baby. It's gonna be all right.
Well, I mean, some pimps control them with the word, some pimps control them with the dick. So there's some GMs out there betting these players over, Kerry.
You know what I mean? I'm saying.
No, that's interesting. This is going to be. I mean, I literally only watch one sport, so the NFL, there is no off season with me.
Yeah.
And if you're really into it, there is no off season because there's so many moving parts. 53. Now you're back into not even restricted rosters. You're looking at what camp when OTAs and shit, and like all the meeting. You're allowed to have meetings. You're looking at back to what is it, like 100 fucking people.
Yep.
So you're looking at a lot of moving parts, especially with the salary cap issue. The salary cap doesn't go down in the NFL. It's only gone up for like the last 20, 30 years. So this is new. So then you have to look at players. You have to think about players that are going to be cut because of salary cap issues.
Yes. Who's restructuring? And it's interesting too, because we haven't brought up Pittsburgh as a destination yet, because Ben is talking about coming back and restructuring his salary. Cool and all that. But if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm evaluating that tape of all last year. I see where his arm is at right now. I'm no dummy. And now you're telling me Pouncey retired. That defense, who's gonna be back in time next year? That line was beat up. Listen,
the Browns are the good now. The Ravens are solid. Like, your division's.
I don't want to cut bait with Ben necessarily, but at the same time, you're not going to sell me that Mason Rudolph is your future. So if you have an opportunity to jump in this QB carousel that's going on right now, I'm looking.
An interesting player that I heard rumblings about being a cap casualty this year, Patrick Peterson.
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
definitely.
So now Patrick Peterson has to take the Charles Woodson route and move from corner to safety.
It's time for safety for him. I mean, he can still make some plays at corner.
He can make a lot of plays at safety, though. He can revitalize himself.
Exactly.
He's good enough and smart enough to do that. He could totally do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So they were talking about him because they can't pay him number one corner money anymore. So that's an interesting one because.
Yeah.
Dude, where could he end up? Is everybody going to try to go to Tampa? Is everybody calling Tom like, yo, Tom, what's up, man?
I mean, listen, if Pat Pete wants to come to the G's, play safety, please come school the young boy Xavier McKinney. Come school him. You know what I mean? I know we getting Logan Ryan back, but you get Patrick Peterson and he's converted to safety. Give me that.
Oh my! All I can see is Charles Woodson all over again, and Rod Woodson. It's just them, both of them moving to safety and dominating.
Yeah,
yeah. Now that would be awesome. I actually thought he should have done that this past season.
I thought so too.
It was time. It's time.
It's about time.
Well, I mean, DK Metcalf pretty much showed him. Yeah, man, it's about time for you to move it over to safety, old man. This is a young man's game now. Watch me. I'm out of here.
I mean, but you still got to be careful with Patrick Peterson. You make a mistake, you get too full of yourself thinking you can just get him. He will get you.
No, that's what I'm saying. This is like literally Charles Woodson all over again. Like, it's perfect. He's an 8-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Like, he was
LSU ready.
He was a Pro Bowler every year until he was suspended for PEDs or whatever it was that one year.
And also, he had diabetes, and he found out, he was sick for a minute. He didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, so up until all that shit happened, he was the definition of a perennial Pro Bowler because his rookie year he made it as a returner.
For sure.
And then after that, it was corner, just I'm here locking shit down.
He also got busy at corner too, but the corner position was stacked that year.
Yeah. No, so that's an interesting one. Richard Sherman's saying he only wants to play 2 more years and he's done.
Yeah. So he's looking.
Yeah, he's looking too. I seen that too. He's looking for a new team.
He's ring chasing right now.
Sure. No Bucks. I mean,
it's just interesting because you really have to. I mean, another ring.
For him on the Packers?
That's what I was just saying. The Packers is a good destination to ring chase because, dude, they are loaded, and you do have Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. He would be a nice addition on that defense. Sure. Him, Jair Alexander, yeah. Couple young safeties, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's a couple. It's going to be interesting because you're, like, say in Tampa, they don't really need it per se, but you can always look to improve. But if you can get a veteran to come in and mentor this secondary, because they're all fucking like first and second year players.
I mean, I'll be honest. There could be a spot for him on Kansas City Chiefs. Listen,
they need it.
They need defenders, my friend.
So now, you definitely have to look at the Chiefs as a ring-chasing destination because if you play defense, if you play defense, that they have openings over there.
Oh, absolutely.
Other than the Honey Badger, they're pretty much open for business.
Yeah. And Chris Jones disappointed me. If you're supposed to be their best pass rusher, supposed to be a leader on defense, and you were getting caught up in some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, he got caught up, he smacked the dude, then he went in the next play and dove in the pile, which could have been another penalty that they could have called. I'm really shocked that they didn't.
Wasn't Chris Jones the one who lined up offsides in the AFC title game against the Patriots?
Nah, that was D Ford.
D Ford, okay. Well, another cap casualty movement that I have been talking about since, I don't know, we'd have to go back and look at the videos, but it's been very early on. They've been discussing it. J.J. Watt to the Chargers.
We've been saying that.
We've been saying that all year.
Weeks. Yeah, we've been saying that for a long time. Yeah.
It just makes so much sense.
Yeah. Plus, they're going to get Melvin Ingram back because he was gone for the majority of the year.
Well, Roger Harper, we were talking. This was a heavy topic of discussion in the first couple weeks of Gray Matter before you joined us. So why we think this is such a good fit is because now, if you bring J.J. Watt in, he can be the leader of the team, and you don't have to make Justin Herbert play quarterback and be Tom Brady. You can let J.J. Watt be the leader and show him how to do it for the next 2 years or whatever. And then he's also going over to a team that is absolutely loaded on defense, so he doesn't have to carry too much of the load. We've been talking about it all season. It just makes so much fucking sense.
Wow, that's what's up.
He really helps. He helps those guys on defense. Because Melvin Ingram is not a talker like that. He's not like a leader like that. What's his face out of Ohio State? He's like he's a great player.
Yeah, Bosa and Derwin James, all their young talent. They're all young, so you're looking at leadership in the defensive meeting rooms.
They're just players. They're not leaders.
That leader who, when J.J. Watt speaks, everyone shuts up and listens. So Justin Herbert can just be the young kid who's just really balling at quarterback. It just makes so much fucking sense. And J.J. Watt gets to be in L.A. where he can set up his transition to post-football. It literally is just like, oh, this makes sense. He's already made like $150 million fucking dollars. Who cares? It's not even about money at this point.
Going to be doing commercials with John Cena in no time. Wow.
Exactly, dude. This guy's like an American hero. He raised like how much money for the charities and whatnot. Like this guy.
But when the floods happened in Houston, he raised $30 million. Like that.
Like it was nothing. So this is like everybody loves this guy. So it just makes sense. And I mean, unless you want to ring chase and he goes to Kansas City, but like San Diego is fucking loaded though. They could really make a run.
Right. I don't see him making that move unless they chased him and a deal kind of worked out. I could see him wanting out of Houston.
He does already.
I don't see him choosing Kansas City. I don't know if that would be a choice.
No, it's a trade, but he's got a no trade clause. He could veto it, but the Chargers make sense. But then you have to look at what's your competition. So you have the Chiefs, who are now the Roy Jones Jr. of the NFL. Everyone found out that if you punch them in the mouth, they get knocked out. So the Chiefs are going to have to do some soul searching in the offseason because everybody is just going to out-physical them now. And Patrick Mahomes said it this morning in an interview. He said, well, everybody saw what just happened to us, and everyone's going to try to do the exact same thing because it worked.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
It's literally Roy Jones. Nobody could hit Roy Jones. And then one time, instead of trying to hit him, one guy just went straight at him and knocked him out. And for the next 5 fights, he got knocked out. Yeah, first round knockouts. Everybody was just like, go to sleep, Roy. Shut up. And then Kansas City is just the same. Everybody now knows. Double Tyreek. Just let fucking Kelsey roam for 115 yards in the middle, maybe a touchdown, whatever, and then that's it.
Force them to run the rock.
Force them to run it, but then you're also forcing Pringle, who literally was non-existent.
Hardman.
Hardman non-existent except for that offsides on the kick, the field goal that led to 4 more points.
I was watching like, come on. I was like, this is ridiculous. They're not in the game.
They weren't.
Like, they're not in the game. They're not even in.
Well, there were a lot of just.
That was Le'Veon.
Well, I mean, again, they don't use him at all because they don't run the ball, and then they don't really throw the ball to the running backs. They throw the ball vertically.
Because actually, when you think about it, this was the Roethlisberger Bowl. It was Le'Veon, and you had AB. So one of the disgruntled Steelers is going to get a chip, even though this is AB's. This is second one.
Yeah.
Because he was a rookie.
Yeah.
When they played the Cardinals, I had forgotten about that for a little bit. So Le'Veon really was thirsting for it, and I really thought. See, this is what I was saying. I said that they were going to have to really go three-headed monster at running back and tote that rock. And how do you not put Le'Veon Bell in the game? Especially with that line, you have someone with supreme balance and vision and patience. So he'll let you run right by you. You know
what happens?
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is still learning that.
Well, I mean, so you have all the distractions and the injuries. These are big issues, but the underlining issue to me is they were drunk off of their own ability to get themselves out of any scenario whenever they felt like it. And then every game, even the games that they lost, it was by a couple points. They were all 30 to 40 point shootouts. Patrick Mahomes has he averaged like 36 points a game in his career.
They only lost that game to Vegas. That last game, they didn't play anybody.
That's what I'm saying. So it's rare. And then even last year, they don't get blown out. So they've always been able to be right there. And even in the few games that they lost that Tom got him early in his career, they were right there. Right OT, right there, last second field goals and shit. And they knew it. Like, oh, we're right fucking there. So it was like the Bulls beating the Pistons. They finally get over the Patriots and whatnot. Mike didn't get punched in the face in the finals and like get shut out. Like, they didn't score a touchdown. They literally got destroyed. This is a team altering loss.
Yeah. You lose players off a team like this.
Yeah, players are going to be like, well, we've got one already. I'm about to go get paid now. Fuck it. We're not going to do this dynasty thing. We're out of here.
But I will say this. You know who would have run the rock? And I want to give a special RIP shout out. Marty Schottenheimer would have ran that rock.
Yes.
Ran that rock over and over and over again. You would have seen Le'Veon would have had 20 carries. Clyde Edwards would have had like 15. And Williams would have had another 10. They would have toted that rock, baby.
All right, so Kerry, I wanted to talk to you about this because I didn't get to talk to you during the game, and I was so busy pre-game that I literally I turned shit on at 6:29. Like, I was so late. So I was told by both Roger and Nice that Bill Belichick went into the stadium wearing a Patrick Mahomes jersey.
Shut up.
Yep. Got off the private jet.
Got off the jet in a Patrick Mahomes jersey, yo.
With the hoodie on. With his mask on and trying to be incognito.
Yo, my man is wild out.
So I have two thoughts on that. One's a thought and the other one's more of an inquiry. My thought is, I've been digesting post-Super Bowl media for days. No one has mentioned this. Not even Pat McAfee brought this up, which I thought was very odd. So my question is, are they really that petty against each other? Or was the hoodie like, listen, I know how to push Tom's buttons. Watch what I'm about to do. And he probably called him right after the game like, I knew that would piss you off. Like,
I think both can be true. I think it's both. I think it's actually both.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I mean, because look at it. Him and Bill Parcells weren't the best of friends. Does he respect the shit out of him? And did he get what he needed out of him? Absolutely.
And it's the hoodie, man. Like, if you don't know the hoodie and that that offends you, like, come on, 20 years with this guy. But the idea of the hoodie getting off the jet in a Mahomes jersey is hysterical. Because Tom's phone was buzzing
Oh yeah, because he's gonna know. Tom knows all of that. Like,
well, nah, that like there's some his what's his trainer's name? Is texting him, yo, I just saw this.
Oh
Like
yeah.
all that. Edelman probably texted him like, yo, son, what the fuck? Bill's wearing a Mahomes jersey. Like,
That's funny.
That's
Danny Amendola texted him because he been talking reckless.
He's been talking mad shit too. So he playoff Danny definitely fucking texted him.
Oh, for sure.
That's so Belichick though. Like, fuck it, I'm gonna put the hoodie on and wear the other guy's jersey.
Yeah, that's funny, man.
What an asshole. Jesus.
Yeah, I missed it because I had I did a couple of those prop bets just to see what happened, and I missed the song. It was like it was gonna be over a minute 57 or under, because Gladys sang it at 1:45, which was the third fastest of all time. But they had two singers. They had Jasmine Sullivan and some dude, right?
Yeah. I
missed it. I don't know how long they did.
Well, I got to watch our esteemed colleague down here clean up on his Super Bowl board in the most literally, it is the second hardest way to win on a numbers board possible. And he did it. Dude, it's like, explain it to him. This shit is like, I sat there and watched it happen. It's like, it's incredible. The odds of this actually
a football pool, and I had numbers 9 and 1 and 1 and 9 on a reverse and straight.
Oh wow!
I came up $1,800 on $150 for the box, and $900 is the win, and $225 was the reverse.
Oh, that's what's up,
dude.
I had 2 quarters, so the score didn't change.
Yeah, it didn't change.
Yeah, so I came up that night.
Dude, it was awesome. I'm sitting there watching him. Like, I could see the anxiety. It's just like, no. And then when Pat Mahomes threw that pick, we knew it. It was over right there. But yeah, like,
you was winning your own championship.
To get 1 and 9 is the second worst odds in football numbers. Like, and then to get 9 and 1 as your other box.
Oh yeah.
And
that was crazy.
And then to be able to reverse it and to get third quarter, fourth quarter, and it was really incredible. I was just like, what are the fucking odds of that happening?
Yeah, I mean, because you already knew it was going to be some shit, because tails never fails. Bang.
Oh, yeah, that's my call, too. Every time. Tails never fails.
Here we go. It's already starting. It's already starting.
Yeah, no, it was crazy because Pat McAfee put $30,000 on tails. And if he won the bet, he was literally going to immediately give it away to whoever was watching his pregame show, and lost that bet.
So I think it was Mattress Mac in Houston put $2.4 million or $3 million on Tampa Bay to win. So shit, he came up.
Well, I can tell you what the numbers are because I saw Conway put up 10K on the Bucks to win straight up on the money line and walked away with 19. So it was a 90% flip on that one. So that 3 point whatever, just make that another $3 million then. All right, so there was a story of a guy who walked into the Borgata in Vegas during the Super Bowl with $250,000 in cash and didn't know what he was going to bet, and he ran a parlay that ended up being Gronk scoring at least once, AB scoring once, and then Leonard Fournette scoring once, and then Winfield Jr. getting a pick, and he walked out of there with like $2.5 million.
Damn.
Yeah, was on spot parlaying, was just
That's
like
ridiculous.
The first one happened because Gronk was the first one to score, so he was just like, all right, what's next on the thing? And he just started rocking because then
scored the first touchdown, because I did get right. It was like, what would be the first score of the game? And they had a bunch of players on the field. I picked the field, and they kicked the field goal. So I was like, all right, yeah. I didn't think anybody was.
Yeah, but he got Gronk. That was his first one off the board immediately. He was just like,
real spry out there.
He was just like, all right, let me see what else I can parlay this into. Well, AB's out there. He's probably going to score. Bam, got that. Well, now they're about to run the rock with Leonard Fournette. He just played it smart on the fly and went from 250,000 up to 2.5 million.
Bless him. I was happy for AB when he got that one too.
You can see the look in his face after the game. He's a whole different human right now. So that's the Tom Brady effect again, you know.
I was actually happy for him that he got that one.
I mean, this is America.
I was Leonard Fournette too. Be honest with you.
Now, this is America, man. We love redemptions. We love redemption stories in this country. It doesn't matter what you did. If you can come back, look at what everyone loves Tiger Woods again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the media, they tried to fuck with him. The media was trying to throw him out there bad, but he came back through. I'm happy for him.
He battled back through, became he's having fun in life, and then he was able to win again at the Masters, which is just like, oh, he's all the way back. Well, like, holy shit, we love this guy. Now everyone loves Tom Brady. It's hilarious.
And listen, what were they saying about Todd Bowles as the Jets? I mean, he was in a shit situation, and they tried to put it all on him. When we got to remember, he had these Jets teams vying for the playoffs.
All right, so we know that Leftwich and Bowles are locked in for next season already, so the coaching staff is also complete. So you're looking at outside of injuries and wild shit happening, a very likely repeat because they're so loaded on defense, and then you have that as a compliment. Your compliment is that offense. Are you fucking kidding me? So then you have to look at the possibility of the run at the three-peat. So the last question I'll give you both you guys is, if they win 2 in a row and you're Leftwich and Bowles, do you stay and try to go for 3, or do you go ahead and get your head coaching gigs that are going to be there?
I would stay and go for 3.
I'm going for 3 because it's never been done. I'm going for 3. It'll never be done again. It's like, you see what happened to Kansas City, how hard it is to repeat as Super Bowl, because it only takes one off game. This isn't a 7-game series, and if you it doesn't matter when in the playoffs you have it, you're done if you have it. Mm-hmm. And Tampa didn't have any. It's just like the Giants' 2 Super Bowl wins. They got hot at the end of the year and took off on a run. Jerome Bettis' Super Bowl title, they were a wild card team that snuck into the playoffs and just got hot and went on a run.
And got saved. And saved him on that tackle because Indianapolis was about to go to that Super Bowl.
Yeah, and then there was another one I was just thinking of. Fuck. I smoke too much goddamn weed.
Which, I mean, even think about the course of history. Now, you take that title away, right, from Pittsburgh, and you say Indianapolis is going. So
yeah, we talked about that, Kerry. That changes so.
That just changes the.
That was the one that changed like 50 different narratives in the league because so many pieces changed after that happened. Oh, now I know. Baltimore. Baltimore was another team that got hot. Joe Flacco went on a fucking a mirror. He sold his soul and went on just an absolute and total a streak that he got all of his football out in those 8 games because he's never been able to play since then.
Oh yeah, and then afterwards they asked him if he's elite. He was like, "Of course I am." And then he was Garbaggio.
Dude, he got all of his football out in those 8 games. He's never been able to play again. His was concentrated football. He forgot to add the water.
Yeah.
But that's just that's just how the NFL is. And once again, Tom Brady did it again. We'll figure this out in the beginning of the year. We're probably going to go somewhere around 500, and they were 7-5 at one point, and then they had the bye week, and it was just like Tom probably yelled at Bruce and said, "Yo, we're running play action and crossing routes. Fuck this down the field shit." And then all of a sudden they win the Super Bowl. And Bruce said it. Bruce already said, "Hell yeah, I'm coming back for one more. We're going for 2, and then I'll think about retiring." Mm-hmm. So they already know.
I'm happy for Bruce.
So the last thought, this is Tom Brady being Tom Brady. I forget which player it was in the locker room was live streaming after the game. Young players over here. There's no champagne because of the Roni. They're throwing confetti and shit. It's retarded. But they're all celebrating and happy. Tom Brady is by himself in his locker, quietly getting his shit together, putting it in a box. No celebration, no nothing. 7:45 in the morning, he had a FaceTime meeting with the GM. Like, we're already on to the next one. Already on to he even said it. It's already on to the next one. The second the game was over, here, take this. Here, whatever. I've got like fucking 10 of these shits. Here, take this. Let me go get my shit together. Already on to the next one, dude. 7:45 in the morning. Let's go. It's back to work.
Impressive.
Yes. Maniacal. Absolutely maniacal.
Yeah,
it's one thing to make it and to get you one, but to stay there.
It's just
excellence is harder than anything.
The only other time we've seen anything like this is Jordan during his title run, because he could have won 8 in a row if he really felt like it.
I mean,
they really could have pushed for 8 in a row.
Yeah.
And then even now that we watched The Last Dance, we know at The Last Dance, if they really wanted to, they could have kept going after the second 3 if they really, so.
That was some ego and hubris on ownership. There's no way I break that team up. I'm like Phil Jackson, whatever you say, homie, whatever. I'm still getting these chips.
So
when you lose a chip, then I can say, okay, see you later.
So yeah, we got less than a minute, fellas. We made it through the first season. Carrie, we did it every fucking week. I told you, it's all about consistency. We did this shit. Roger Harper, I can't even believe that you joined the cast in the middle of this shit. It has been the biggest blessing that I could ask for by doing this. And now I can't wait for the off season. We're still going to keep doing this. But I'm fucking hyped for next season already, dude. I fucking love this shit. I'm like Tom. I'm hyped already. So
my pleasure, man.
Yeah, fellas, we'll be in touch. You guys already know.
Indeed.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys.
All right, brothers. Peace, Rock.
All right, so yeah, we fucking made it all the way through a regular season and the playoffs, and Tom wins again. So, I appreciate everybody who rocks with us. Flea, I called you out earlier, homie, our biggest and most loyal Gray Matter fan. So RIP P333, and yeah, I'll probably be making some beats later on. So I appreciate you guys, and I will see you soon.